Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to a new video on my channel. I hope y'all are doing fine, I hope y'all are doing alright. So I always wanted to film these kind of talking videos or just random rambling videos, but just discussing, not discussing politics or whatever, but more discussing philosophical questions. And yeah, I just feel like this is something that I do naturally. Like quite often I just think about something, I think about a philosophical question and my thoughts just start spiraling, and I have to think about this and about that. And my mind is just wandering around, and actually sometimes I feel like I should say this, like I should just either write this down or just record it, like my thoughts and just my chains of thoughts, my train of thoughts somehow. So again, a little disclaimer before we get started. This is just my own opinion that I'm going to talk about today. I'm just going to give you my own opinion on a certain topic, on a certain question. You don't have to share my opinion, but we can have maybe a small discussion in the comments about this topic. And so, yeah. Alright, so I asked ChatGPT to give me some philosophical questions. And I'm just going to use the first one now. Then I can just make different videos basically, and every single video I can discuss another topic. And the first topic is, what is the meaning of life? This is the first question. And then I also asked ChatGPT to give me some different opinions that maybe most people have, or I don't know, just some different approaches to this kind of question. Then it told me, for some, the meaning of life is to seek happiness and fulfillment. Others find meaning in religious or spiritual beliefs, while existentialists argue that life has no inherent meaning and it is up to each individual to create their own purpose. So, I'm just going to talk about my own kind of situation with this. So first, when I was a child, I always thought that the meaning of life was to, I have to say, when I was a child, I never really thought about this. When I was very, very little, I never really thought about the meaning of life. I guess. Maybe sometimes when life was shitty, I was just why, But I never thought, alright, I have to do this and that in order to live a meaningful life or whatever. Or, I don't know, later I have to be like this, I have to do this, I have to do that. Otherwise my life is wasted, or I don't know. I never had these kind of thoughts. And as I got a bit older, let's say kind of elementary school age, I thought that the meaning of life was to have a family and a job and to just have this kind of the life, that a lot of people want to live. To have a partner and then to also get married and to have 2 kids maybe. And maybe an own apartment, an own house, whatever. And then have your job, your dream job, or maybe not your dream job, but just a job that gives you a good amount of money, so to say. Also not too little money, hopefully also a really good job. And this was the meaning of life to me. Or and then your kids are going to have grandchildren one day, and I thought this is the meaning of life. And then as I got, when I was a teen roundabout, in my early teenage years, I think, I really rethought this, because I just realized that in my case, it is probably not going to be so easy to live this kind of life. Or I was just in general thinking, what if this is not easy for you to live this kind of life? And I just rethought, everything, and I was just what is the meaning of life? And I was also really depressed at that time. It had various reasons why I started to become depressed. But it's not that, I don't know, not having a meaning of life was the reason for me to be depressed. But it didn't help either. I really searched for the meaning of life, and I wanted to know, why am I even here? What is my purpose? And I questioned this family situation as an example. Do you really need a family to be happy? Or do you need grandchildren to be happy? And I was also really thinking about this. Let's just say I really have children and I only have them for the purpose of, I don't know, being happy, living a purposeful life. Because this is the meaning of my life, maybe. But then, let's say I also want to have grandchildren, but this is totally not in my control. This is so out of my control. I can't tell my children, like I can tell them, but like I can't force them to have grandchildren. And so then I immediately thought, all right, there are some things that I really can't control. Like people tell me this is the meaning of life, this is going to make you happy, but I can't really control it. And so this is, these kind of thoughts really made me rethink what is the purpose of my life. And at that time, the conclusion that I drew from this was that I just have to do something impactful, so to say. Like I do have to give some meaning to my life. I do have to give some meaning to my existence. So now this sounds like a turning point of my life, like I just turned my life around, but like I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know what to do. I just knew I wanted to also change my life, to not be so depressed anymore. But I also just wanted to live a meaningful life. I wanted to live a purposeful life, so to say. But I didn't know what to do in order to live this meaningful life. I knew, okay, I have to do something impactful, but I didn't know what to do exactly. And so then for quite some years, this was the purpose of life to me. And I also thought, and I still think this today, like it's also really individual from person to person. Everybody has their own meaning in life, or for everyone it can be something else. It can be something different. If you are religious, you can have a different meaning of life. Like I can't say I grew up really religious, but I grew up with a sense of religion, like I grew up with a religion, but I can't say that my family or I was ever really religious. Like there was a time where I was quite religious, but I was never like where I was also really practicing the religion. But it was never really that my family is like really religious or something like this. And so also there, like I just wanted to be a good person, because I didn't want to end up in hell, basically. And this was when I was a child, and this was kind of like my meaning of life, so to say. And or like also the goal in life. Like the goal in life was to go to heaven, to go to paradise, not to go to hell, that was the like part of the meaning of my life when I was a child. And then as I got older, as I said, then I questioned a lot of things, and I just drew this conclusion, okay, maybe it's something different for every single person. But then again, I asked myself, but what is the purpose of my life, if it's something else for every single person? And also sometimes I just thought, all right, life has no meaning at all. Not at all, no single meaning, like we are just on this planet. And this is what I still think about today. Like let's just even say, like I do believe in God. As I said, I'm not overly religious, but let's just say, okay, someone doesn't believe in God at all, and someone is just like, all right, like I also really do believe in science, and this is why I'm also not that religious. As an example, I do not take every single thing literally in a religion, but I still believe in God. And so let's say someone really doesn't believe in God at all and believes we are just randomly here on this planet, and then there isn't really much of a meaning, like every animal is like, there are a lot of different animals, a lot of different plants, like just a lot of different living beings, like just a lot of different living beings. And we are just here, and if one of us is gone tomorrow, it doesn't matter. Or like if I'm going to die tomorrow, it doesn't matter. Like some people who know me, they will be sad, but otherwise no one is going to miss me, it doesn't really matter. And then again, I thought, all right, that's why I need a really impactful life. That's why I have to do I don't know which kind of things, because otherwise, I don't know, just a couple of people are going to miss me, and then that's it, then I'm just going to be forgotten forever. But on the other hand, I also never really cared about this. Like I also, because I was so depressed, I had a lot of times in my life, and I never really wanted to die. Like I never really wanted to kill myself and die. I just always wished that I never got born in the first place. And so, also there, I never really placed an importance on my life, so to say, or not on my life, but like I do appreciate my life, so to say. I do appreciate my healthy body, all these kind of things. But it's never that I thought, I need to be here, you know, like, I don't know, my presence is needed on this planet, or I don't know, like, I never thought like this. And so I always thought, yeah, if I never got born, we wouldn't miss anything, or if I, like, no one would really miss something. If no one ever knew that I existed or that I was about to exist, no one would miss me. And so one thing that I wanted to talk, like, I wanted to say this, like I talked about this 2 minutes ago, something like this. Like, let's say someone really says, okay, there's no meaning in life, like, we are just here on this planet. But whenever I thought this, I was just like, all right, but like, and this is also one of the major reasons why I still believe in God and why I probably always will, because it's just really insane to me that we know so much about the universe yet. Like, it's not a lot. Like, we don't even know enough of our own planet yet. We don't even know which kind of creatures live really deep in the ocean. And we certainly don't know if there is some sort of life somewhere on another planet. We can't really know that, because we might see different planets. We might see different planets and also different galaxies, but you can't really see if someone is living there, you know? Maybe these livings don't need water. Maybe they have different living conditions. We don't know that. And, you know, maybe they are like, of course, everything in the universe is kind of similar, you know? It's not like it's always the law of physics so far. Like, I don't know, maybe one day scientists will find something entirely new that we've never heard of yet, or some new element or whatever. But there can still be some kind of living being that just has a consciousness, so to say. You know, maybe this living doesn't need to breathe like we do, and doesn't need to eat or drink, and doesn't need water, all these kind of things, and doesn't have to live on a planet with an atmosphere, and just, I don't know, looks like a rock but has a consciousness. And so also somehow it might not look like it's living, but it knows what is happening around. Like, why am I talking so much about this? But I hope you know what I mean. But the thing is, I was just thinking about it. So far we only know us humans, and so it's just so much coincidence. This is what I'm always also sometimes thinking, you know, this is really a lot of coincidence, all these kind of things that come together on this planet. And it's because it's not just us humans, it's a lot of different species that we have on this planet. We have so many different plants, we have so many different animals, and it's just a really, really, like, a lot of things come together perfectly in the universe to create this life here. And so, yeah, I just sometimes think this can't be coincidence, you know? And, like, there must be some higher power who wants this to happen or whatever. And so, yeah, like, this is one of a lot of reasons why I believe in God, but, like, just as an example. And so then I'm just thinking, if this was created by someone, maybe, like, when you just take a look around in the world and you see all of these different species, it's hard to believe that this is just random. This is just random here. And when it's not random, there must be a sense, you know? And this is what I always thought. Like, when it's not random, then there must be a reason why we are here. And this is what I, thought about a lot. Because, like, let's say it is random, you know, then it could be just, it's just really random. We are just here. It's just a random situation. And, there's no meaning in life. We just ended up in this place. But, like, everything, also just if you take a look at, also just in general at physics as an example, at the law of physics, everything makes sense, you know, it makes sense. There's never something that is not logic, you know, it always makes sense. And so it's hard to imagine, I think, at least for me, it's hard to imagine that the whole universe, you know, all the galaxies, all the stars, all the planets, and then a lot of different living beings, a lot of different animals and plants, and just a lot of different species, also bacteria, all these kind of things are living on this one planet. And, like, even if we wouldn't live here, I would still, like, if I knew, like, okay, this is really philosophical, like, this is really theoretical now, but, like, even if the earth wasn't there, you know, like, even if there wasn't any living creatures like us humans, like animals, all these kind of things, like animals, like plants and so on. Even then, if I knew about the universe, and I would just see, I don't know, how gravity works and all these kind of things, I would still think this is too good, or this doesn't, like, this makes too much sense in order to be random, so to say. I hope this makes sense. And so when it's not random, then there must be kind of like a meaning of life, not like a really deep meaning maybe, or like not, but like this is just why for me there's a meaning in life. Like actually I talk more about if the universe is random or not. Like this is something that you will always see in my videos. I end up kind of also answering different questions when I want to answer one question. But yeah, this is just why for me and to me there is a meaning in life, and it can be different for every single person, but it's just I don't know, I just always think about the fact that I got fortunate enough to be born on a planet. Okay, I wouldn't be born on Mars probably, but like I am fortunate enough that I have a consciousness. I also want to say that I'm not a stone on another planet, but like I do, like I was fortunate enough, so to say, because at the end of the day everything is made out of different chemicals, also our cells in our body. And so yeah, I just sometimes think it's really fortunate to be born as not only a creature, like a living being, but also to be born as a human on this planet, because humans rule this planet. If I was born as an ant, I would live probably 2 days, and then I would just, because I constantly walk into things. Let's just imagine I was born as an ant. I would just, like, I don't even know how to walk, I would probably just run into something, and then, I would get a headache, and then someone would just walk over me, and that's my life, And so I'm not trying to say that ants don't have a meaning of life, or they don't have a meaning of being here. It's just when you think about it, I am just fortunate enough to be born as a human in a world where humans rule this planet, and then at the same time I have a consciousness. If I didn't have this brain, if I didn't have a sense of me, a personality, and if I wouldn't have a brain, if I wouldn't have just some consciousness, I wouldn't even be able to think about this question right now. And so, yeah, and this in itself is again really such a coincidence actually to me, like that we as humans have this kind of consciousness, and we know, all right, I am a human, at least like in this world, like maybe an alien would call us whatever, but like I am a human, I look like these other people, there's a lot of us. And this in itself is again kind of like a reason for me that life has a meaning, so to say, because like it's just really meaningful to me if everything is like, it doesn't really feel random, it doesn't really feel random to simply like to be born on a planet where you can live, and then also as a human who can think about philosophical questions, as an example. I really hope this makes sense. I have to restart the camera. And so this is why I believe there's some meaning in life, maybe. But on the other hand, I also think maybe everything is just real random, and we just ended up on this planet, and it's just pure coincidence that all of these elements came together, and then some cells got created, and now we have humans on this planet and all kinds of different animals and plants and so on. And no one created this, it just kind of happened. And like this is also actually, when I was younger, I always thought we just can't imagine that there is something behind the universe, because I don't know, it's beyond our thoughts. I thought this was like how it is. But the older I got, I also thought about actually the thought that there is nothing behind the universe, that there is nothing else, or no one who created all of this. Actually, this is even more abstract, because we live in a world where everything has, like, there is always something behind something, or like after something, always something that comes after something. So I am sitting in a car right now, but it's more in this world than this car. I can open this door, and then we have something around the car, and then, or like we just have, like, there's nothing really around the car right now, but like let's say, but like there's just a lot of trees around the car. And if you take a look at the Earth, there's the galaxy around it, or like, first of all, the solar system, and then the galaxy, and then there are other galaxies, and then you always think there must be something else. But on the other hand, like, also on the Earth, you can walk forever. Theoretically, you are never going to reach an end of the Earth because it's round, literally. This is also like with the universe. It's like 4D, like in every single direction you can just, like, what was this kind of comparison that I once heard of? It's like an balloon, if you have like a balloon, but like also in all directions. Like, you can always walk forever on the balloon. And if it was 4-dimensional, not just 3-dimensional, you can also go into different directions. But yeah, I don't know if this makes sense, but sometimes I just also think, all right, maybe it's just pure coincidence, and then life doesn't really have a meaning, but then you can still create this meaning for yourself. You can still do this on your own. So if you would like to, I don't know, have an impact on a lot of people or whatever, then you can work a job where you can do that, or I don't know, try to do something where you can do that. Or if you would like, or let's say you maybe had like a lot of things going wrong in your life, or whatever, you aren't really happy with your life, you can, I don't know, write a book about your life and try to help others not making the same mistakes, or maybe just, I don't know, navigating life better than you did. Or you can also just say, one day I want to have kids, I want to be married, and I want to live in a house, and I want to have my dream job, and that's my meaning of life. And I think it's just different for everyone then. And yeah, like, it's really, like, this is a really individual question, I think. Like, I also looked up the other questions that I would like to discuss in other videos, and sometimes they were a bit more clear to me personally, still yet maybe not to everyone, but like to me personally, I had my opinion, kind of. But like with this question, it really strongly depends. Like, if you are religious, you probably have your meaning in life, and if you are not religious but you really value family, as an example, you have your meaning in life. You're living for your family, you want to have kids one day, or you already have kids. But I think at the end of the day, it really is a personal situation, because you can also choose whether you want to be religious or not. And we don't know, like, even if you are really religious, you will only know, and even if you are totally not religious, like, we all will only know if we are dead, what really comes after death, and if God exists or not. Like, I believe in God, as I said, but it's a different situation for everyone, and so it's really your own choice to say, I want to have this meaning in life, I want to have that meaning in life, I want to live like this, I want to live like that. And yeah, and so it's really up to you, actually, to find your meaning in life. Like, some people will say, I'm going to believe in this, I'm going to believe in that, like, this is my meaning of life, or this is my meaning of life, or this really gives me meaning in my life. And I think it's a really personal situation. Like, you really have to think about what you like, or what feels important to you, what feels meaningful. And yeah, like, it's also, for a lot of people, it's just to find happiness, to be at least maybe content with life. And yeah, you really have to find what works best for you. Like, this is kind of my conclusion. Like, maybe you want to be happy, maybe you are religious and you're working towards the afterlife, like what comes after death, like you want to go to heaven, you want to go to paradise. Or you are really valuing a family. Also, you can have, of course, different situations together, or you want to have an impact in this world, you want to change something, you want to inspire others, or whatever. Or your goal is to, I don't know, to work your dream job every single day, and maybe sometimes it's tiring, but you really want to do this because you are so good at this, and this also gives some value to others, maybe this helps others, and so on. Like, it really depends on the individual, I think. And so yeah, this is kind of like my conclusion for today. I really hope you liked the video, and if you did, I would really appreciate it if you would give it a like. And feel free to let me know your own thoughts on this in the comments. Like, we can really have like a small discussion in the comments. Not a discussion, but just exchanging our thoughts. Like, this is actually also the goal that I have with these videos, that we can just kind of exchange our philosophical thoughts in the comments. And yeah, or maybe have like small discussions, but like, please always stay respectful in the comments. And yeah, tell me if you would like me to make more of these videos. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching until now if you're still watching. And see you in the next video.